Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a new video in SQL series, that is a schema binding in SQL. So we will be watching all the details regarding schema binding, the benefits, limitation, how to apply it. All these details we'll be watching into this particular video. So let's get started with the video. In very first, what the schema binding is. This is just a feature which is provided by any DBMS. So this feature is that which will prevent any changes like alter or drop basically to the object getting used in the view. So whenever you are creating a view or a user defined function, which I have already covered up, that what is view, how to create that view, and how to create user defined function, and all these details I have already covered up in the previous videos. So when you are creating view or the user defined function, there is one facility you can add over there of schema binding. When you add this schema binding facility, what it will do is whatever objects getting used inside this view or the function, that means it can be having some table from which some column would have been selected, right? So whatever query it is written over there, that query, whatever it is consuming, that means whatever object, it may be table or whatever it is, so that particular object can't be altered or dropped if you are using schema binding into your view. That means your dependencies, whatever the dependencies are there, those dependencies can't be changed on whole together. So that is what this schema binding basically does. Now taking an example, if a view is a schema bound, we cannot alter or drop the columns that the view references without removing the schema binding. Until and unless you are removing the schema binding or you are dropping up that particular view, you can't alter that column or you can't drop that column. You can't do any changes into that particular column or the object which it is using, that view or the user defined function is using. Now coming to the benefits, what's the benefit of this schema binding then? First and foremost benefit is it will remove the accidental damages into your view or the user defined function. That means it prevent accidental changes, whatever the dependency changes are there, right? Whatever dependencies are there, those objects, whatever it may be, the table suppose, so it can't be accidentally be changed. Another one is maintain data integrity. Of course, if it will not change, then data integrity will be there. After that, the very important benefit is performance optimization. This is performance wise very good. So schema of bound object can be optimized more effectively by the query optimizers since the schema is fixed and known. So performance wise it is very good. And the last one, security. The security is something which this schema binding take care of. If suppose that unauthorized changes is to be done on any particular object which is that view is using, so those unauthorized changes can't be done over that particular object which in that view is using. So these are few of the benefits. After that, coming to the limitation, the limitation is very first limitation and very important limitation which you need to keep into your mind, because this is general thing which anybody is not coming to mind, that suppose somebody is using inside this, suppose this is the view you are creating with a schema binding facility. Now what generally people do is, suppose select a star from this particular employee table. So this star will not be allowed over there when you are a schema binding. That means a star is a wildcard, of course. So select a star is not, or it is avoided into this. So this is the very first thing. Second one, schema bound object cannot be based on complex query involving multiple subqueries, union or recursive cities. That means if suppose your whole chunk of query that query is suppose very nested, or you may say it's very much complex, there if you will try to use this schema binding, it may end up with some error. And it's also not the best practice to use a schema binding when your query is very much complex, because there are multiple dependencies, right? If any of the dependencies, if you want to change, if any of the object you want to change within whatever it is getting consumed into that big query, definitely you will not be able to do it until and unless you remove that schema binding. Third, is that the schema binding is typically used in the views and function, but not in the stored procedure triggers. That means it is only available, this schema binding facility is only available for the views or function, not for the stored procedure or trigger, which are another objects of the SQL. So these were the benefits and limitations side. Coming to the example, so we will be taking up the example on SSMS itself. So in here you can see that this particular view we are going to create, was already creating it. So let me first drop it. This view is not dropped, we are not having anything. Suppose you want to go ahead with this selection of this view, you will find ending up with the error because this view is not existing. So what it is doing is create view, the view name with a schema binding. Only this thing you need to add into the view or the function wherever you are creating, as whatever the query you want to write. Only thing you need to be kept in mind that there should not be any star over here. There should be the specific column specified. Suppose get date. Also one more point to be kept into mind. If you will go onto internet or somewhere, if you may confuse, because those are suggesting that you should not use get date or something like that, which is a non-deterministic function. Right now, this non-deterministic function is get date, which is why it is non-deterministic, because get date is something which will change value on the runtime, right? It is changing the value. So it is not like that. You can use this get date. That's why I have just taken it up at the demonstration over here from this particular employee table. So when you will create this one, you can see that this is created. If you will select a star from this particular view, it will give you the view result. After that, just for demonstration purpose, if suppose you want to add any column to the employee table, you will be able to add the column. But if you want to alter any column which is getting used into this definition, view definition, that is suppose employee name, now if you want to drop this employee name column, it will not be able to drop it. You can see alter top table drop column employee name field, because one or more objects access this column. So this error it is showing you. This is due to the schema binding. If you drop this particular view and then you will try to drop it, it will be able to drop that particular one. Now if suppose you want to add any column, that is doable. You can add any of the column into this particular table. Since that this particular column is not getting used into the view definition, the definition contains only employee name, so it will be bothered for only employee name. If you are trying to alter the name of the employee name, or if you want to delete this particular column itself, it will not allow you these functionalities. So this was whole about this schema binding, and hope you found this video very informative. If it was helpful to you, kindly like to the video, subscribe to the channel, and any confusion let me know into the comment section. Thank you so much guys for watching out the videos. See you in the next one with some other topic. Thanks again.